Good morning, y'all. So, I've been sitting here thinking, like, how, I don't know, it was so many things that I used to do that I don't do anymore. So many ways that I used to think, I don't think like that no more. And it's because when I pray, I started asking God, like, to change my whole life for the better. Like, I didn't want certain areas of my life changed. I wanted Him to change my whole life for the better. And I didn't do that for selfish gain. I did it for my children, my children's children, my children's children. I know leaving money is a good thing. I know leaving all kind of stuff like that, some type of, I don't know, generational wealth. But more than that, I want to change my whole trajectory of life so that my children can think different. I wanted them to have a different mindset, and to know it's okay to live a good life. And with living a good life, it's some things that you just can't do no more, and things that used to be normal, but it's really not normal. It's really like, it's just a lot of stuff we have done in our generation. It's just not good. So when you want to live a better life, a better quality filled life, because you want to make this change for your children and your grandchildren and stuff, y'all, it comes with a lot of strife. Because just imagine, you've been living this way for so long. Now you want to come in and start to make changes. So you got all these people around you, and they not understanding why you saying the things you saying, why you thinking the way you thinking. Because they like, we been doing it this way. Like, you ain't been tripping. Like, what's up now? But I gotta stand on it. I gotta stand on business because I want better for you. I love you just that much to where I want you to have a better life than what I had. And it's more than just money. Because I know plenty of people with money and they still live like fools. So it's not about money. Even though I do want them to have a better management system than I had when it come to money. But more than that, I just want their morals. I want them to live morally correct. I want them to, it's just different. I want them to live differently. And it's okay. Like, you can still have fun. You can still do certain things. But I just want you, it just come a point in time where you want difference. I want different for my children. I want different for my life. I want a better life. I don't want my children to feel like I have to get drunk or high in order to have a good time. And what's so crazy, I remember I used to work with this lady in Nashville, and she said this very thing. She said, and at the time I didn't understand. She was like, I don't want my children. I understood it, but I was kind of like side-eyeing her, because I'm like, girl, what you mean? Like, when you have a good time, you gonna drink and you gonna turn up or whatever. She said she don't drink because she didn't want her children to think that in order to have a good time, you have to be drunk or high. But that was so real. I don't want my children to automatically assume, okay, we finna have a good time, where the liquor at. Like, you don't have to have liquor every time you have a good time. I don't want them to think that that's just the way of life, the way of doing it. You can have a good time without getting drunk or high. Like, it's just so many different things. And I just think so differently now. Like, and I don't have anything against nobody that's doing it. That's your personal business. And, but it's just, I don't want them to think that's the only way to do it. Also, just living a good life. Like, just doing certain things. And it's okay not to want your children to watch certain things. It's okay to not want your children to listen to certain music. It's okay to not want to have certain music in your household. It's okay to be a strict parent. It's okay to be a strict parent to your grown kids. And I think we've in this society, we've gotten so used to being our children's friend or want to be the cool parent, but I refuse. I refuse to do it because there's a boundary. And I want my children to understand, I'm your mama. I'm not your friend. I love you, but I'm not your friend. We can't be homegirls. You can't come to me and just be telling me stuff like that. That's just how I think, though. That's me, because I want my grandchildren to know that's my grandma. I respect my grandma. I want my children to know that's my mama. I respect my mama. I'm not gonna do certain things around my mama. I want you to know that because I still don't cuss around my mama. Not no disrespect to nobody that do, but it's just showing that you have respect. I want my children to have respect. I want them to know the difference. I want my children to know boundaries. I want them to understand all of that. And it's okay if you 35, 40, 45, 50, and you just catching on to this. It's okay. You can take a pivot and change your life. You do know that. You can change your life, and your life can be whatever you want it to be. You don't have to live a certain kind of way just because you've been doing it. If you, in your head, want a different life, you can have that life. And especially, one thing about God, they tell you to pray and tell God, okay, if it's in your will, let it be done. It's always in his will for you to live a better quality filled life. It's always in his will for you to want better for your children and for your children to live morally correct, because the fruit of the spirit is, we spoke about this yesterday. The fruit of the spirit is just good character. So it's okay for you to want your children to have good character, and it's okay for me. And you know, sometimes I stand back and I'm like, dang, everybody I see, like, they're friends with their children, they kicking it. Like, I just don't want that for my kids. I want my kids to know I'm their mother. And I want to stand on business when it comes to my kids. I got certain rules that I have, and I want you to follow those rules. And it's not to hurt you, and it's not to make me feel. I just want you to understand there's a boundary between, like, God created me to be your mother for a reason. You know, so when it come down to crunch time and when it come down to real business, you know who you can come to. You know, mama. At the end of the day, I'm gonna always be mama, and I want my children to know that. And I want to keep that boundary between us when it comes to that. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that I can't enjoy time with my children, play games and stuff like that, but I'm not your friend. And I don't know, y'all. It's just so much with life, and us in our community, we just feel like we just gotta do things this way. And if we don't, then it's just, I don't know, you think you better than people. No, I just want better for my children. I want to change my life. And y'all, and I'm gonna tell you now, when you get ready to start to change your life, get ready for opposition. Get ready for things to just fall apart, because that's how it goes that's with anything though. Just like they say, when God getting ready to bless you, stuff just fall apart. Same way when you're getting ready to change your life for the better, things just kind of just fall apart. But stick to the plan. Stick to the course. Do not let up. Keep your foot on their neck, and just know you doing this for a greater good. Just know you doing this because you want a better life, and it's not for a selfish reason. It's because you want it for your children. You want it for your children's children, your children's children. And I want to be able to set them up mentally, more than money. You know, it'll be a blessing to be able to leave them stuff like that. But more than anything, I want to leave them with mental, what's the word they used to use? We studied when I was at Union University. What was it? I can't even think of the word, but emotional intelligence. You know, I want them to have good emotional intelligence. I want them to know who God is. I want them to know who Jesus is. I want them to know that they can pray. I want them to know that they should try to live a morally correct life. You know, I want them to understand that they'll never be perfect, but I also want them to understand that they are. If they say that they're saved, that they're perfect in Jesus Christ, I want them to understand that the work that you put in down here for the kingdom, that your rewards are in heaven. Like, I want them to understand certain things, and And just far as regular life, everyday life, I want them to understand you don't